No, no, not really. I think, we always knew, you couldn't change everything overnight. But I think, listen, I was experimental in the two games. I think you will agree. I think we wanted to do better results-wise for sure in the two games. Like, I can't deny that. Um, but I can't say I was just looking to the long term, because that wouldn't be true either. I think, I've been looking towards Slovakia next month, and really, overall, didn't think our attacking options, previously having looked at, said that we need to see exactly what attacking options we have, and midfield options for the game against Slovakia. So we've looked at quite a few players, and so it's been, the games are not friendlies; they're Nations League games. So we don't take them lightly. We wanted to win, and I think, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
Robbie Brady said that you've got some fixing to do. What's the biggest, most significant fix necessary, do you think?
Listen, I think when you look at the games in the Nations League, Wales scored an injury time to beat Bulgaria today. They scored a late goal to beat Finland. We got a late equaliser against Bulgaria. The games have either been 1-1 or 1-0. I think we've probably created 5 good chances, so we just need to. We didn't maybe 3 good ones and 3 half chances maybe, but I think we needed to be we need to finish better than we did. That's, I think, the goals. Taking your chances is absolutely critical. Changes the shape, changes the game. And I think Aaron Connolly, 2 good chances at least. Dave McGoldrick actually had 2 chances coming on. Callum Robinson, a great chance. Shane Duffy's header was a much better chance than the one he scored last week. So a lot of chances, few shots, and few. So we had other half chances as well. But I think I think overall, the players are in pre-season. You could see it today. Like, I think the midfield were pretty tired. I probably needed to make, if I had 5 subs, I'd have made 2 changes in the midfield and given them fresh legs. I think the teams who've been playing, I know they don't all play in Finland, but the majority, the leagues have been going on a while as well. So match fitness is a factor, I think, in the 2 games. I think in a month's time we'll be a lot better. I think the players found it, the 90 minutes, tough 90 minutes. I think at this stage, because they haven't played the league game yet, I think some things have, there's been, I don't want to say some positives, but I think there has been some really good signs from certain players that, merits the idea of blooding players for this and having a look at players with next month in mind.
Stephen, all the players throughout the last week have spoken about the amount of information you've been trying to get across in the new style and the new system. Probably going to have only 2 more training sessions between now and Slovakia. Are you concerned that game, I know you knew what was coming, but are you concerned it's coming too soon for what you're trying to do?
I think we'll only know that after the game. Slovakia are a good team. Obviously, pretty good team. I know they got beaten there the other night, but they were missing quite a lot of players. That wouldn't represent their team, I wouldn't feel. So it'd be a big challenge. We always knew that going out there to win, but I think we'll be a lot better, in a month's time than we are now. And the players have played. Have played 4 weeks of football, and I think we'll be a lot better. And we'll have a clear idea, we'll have a clear idea what exactly we require. And, so it's been great to have those two games, to be honest. It's been great to have the games.
I think Shane Duffy might be the only Irish player to score more than one goal over the last 3 years. Have you any worries or have you any work to do on the confidence of the attacking players in terms of taking those chances?
Well, I think we probably had different attacking players today, to be fair. Over the last two games we've blooded, 3 players have had their first start really in Ireland. That's Aaron Connolly, Adam Ida, and obviously Jason Malumbi today. I think so probably Aaron probably did better in Bulgaria, with his performance, and Adam did better tonight probably, so it's interesting to see, I thought Adam led the line quite well and showed a lot of speed, and he'll get better, I feel. So he's a lot to give, and he has very, very good attributes.
Paul?
Stephen, as you said yourself, the defence has been exceptional for the last few years. Are you concerned that the defence doesn't look as solid as it was up to last November going into this big game against Motherwell? It seemed to be disjointed again today as it was at times as it was tonight.
No, I don't. I don't think the back four. I don't think it's been exceptional for a few years. We lost 4-1 to Wales or whatever, So I don't think that's fair to say. But I think individually, I think the balance of the back four, and it's been a strong part of the campaign, because obviously we were set up in such a way as well to protect the back four as well. You're not going to, but I do think that I've no qualms about the back four. Like, I thought they all played well, and obviously we got done early on. Pukki's chance, that Darren made a good save. That was the real one where we got done. The goal itself is a disappointing one to concede, because that was the period when we were actually on top in the game. I felt that was the period we were on top. So I couldn't believe, obviously the substitute score was first touch, was disappointing to say the least. Yeah.
Sorry, Gavin, and then Ken.
Just one question. Stephen, would you consider changing the formation for that game in Slovakia, or are you pretty wedded to 4-3-3 for that game?
It's an interesting question. Like, I'm not wedded to anything, I'm not wedded to anything, but I think we'll review everything and analyse that. I think obviously I'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, you couldn't rule it out.
I couldn't rule anything out. No, I'm not wedded to one particular system as a manager. That's try and look at the characteristics of the players and see what would maximise the talent in the team. That's the way I sort of look to do it.
Ken, and then Neil.
Stephen, obviously the changes you made today were all concentrated in one area of the team. Was that something that you'd always planned to do this week, or was it a reaction to the previous game?
No, it certainly wasn't a reaction to the previous game. I think James McCarthy played an hour the other night, and you have to manage James, for him not to play a game for a while with his injury history, and then to rush him into 2 games in 3 days. It's just, and particularly these games where you can only make 3 substitutions, and you have to manage him in relation to his load for sure. At this stage of the season, we have to look at Slovakia in that regard. So give me an opportunity to look at Harry Arter in that position. And it was a big plus, really. I thought he was very good tonight. He hasn't always played that position as the holder, so he's only really recently learned it. And at Fulham, and I think he did quite well, I felt. Sorry, Ken, the question again?
Well, I was just wondering if it was.
I think with Jeff Hendrick, that was Jeff's first game in
6 months.
probably 6 months, apart from his start with an hour with Newcastle last week. So he got through a tough 90 minutes, and it's credit to Jeff that he kept himself in impeccable condition, because he's supremely fit. I think we wanted to give Robbie with Connor as well. Connor played well the other night, and he keeps himself really in good condition. But we wanted to have a look at Robbie Brady as well on the left of the three, because the dynamic changes. Like if you obviously Conor Hurhan plays left of a tree, he's connected to the centre of midfield, in a way that your right-sided player has to play higher, because he'd have different characteristics to Robbie Brady. While if Robbie Brady's playing on the left, we can push him higher and play the right side a little bit narrower, and he can interchange with the concept is that he interchange with Aaron Conley, who can make diagonal runs behind the striker, and that space on the left becomes a bit of a haven for Robbie, because he can use his pace to go from in to out, and also put crosses in that position and key passes, So I think that's sort of the idea, but he's not played that much football, Robbie, to be fair, and he's been a plus for us as well, though. I think he's done well coming on to tonight, doing well, and did a lot of good things today, and his attitude is absolutely excellent. So he has been a plus for us, and I think the dilemma now is how much football the players get at their clubs over the next 4 weeks. A lot of them are not guaranteed their place, so that's we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
So Neil and then Daniel, and then we're going to have to head off, I'm afraid. So Neil.
Stephen, you maybe touch on it in terms of the players being in pre-season, but how do you feel about the tempo of the game? Obviously, you did hold on to the ball, but maybe the game didn't move as quickly as you would have liked, and the absence of a crowd factor then too, that you might get an external force as such to try, move a bit more quickly.
I think there's not so much moving it more quickly. Like, I think you're trying to develop tempos within the rhythm of the game. Like, you have to keep possession and then know when to inject tempo, and sometimes that can be off, where you're keeping possession, and then it's set for a first time pass with players running off, and that injects the tempo into the game. And we're still sort of working on that. I think listen, I think if you want me to analyse the game, the first 20 minutes, I thought we found it hard to. We took us a while to adapt to their system of 3-5-2, and that they were getting that diagonal switch to their wing backs, and it was causing us a problem early on, and they got their chance from that. I think once we adapted and ended it brilliantly, Anna Stevens then shuffling over and cutting that diagonal pass out. Once we did that, we sort of did well for long spells, but just obviously without creating clear-cut chances in that first half. Second half, we were actually forcing errors, getting on top, if you like, and had a lot of chances, close shots as well. Callum O'Dowda, Harry Arthur. As well as the chances that we created, and in that period they scored. And when they scored, it sort of knocked us a little bit, and then they had a spell where they were on top then, and we seemed to run out of legs a bit in midfield. Then ideally, I'd like to make a change there, but just to give us that fresh impetus. We kept going, and we had some good chances, and we just didn't capitalise on them,
Last one from Daniel, please.
Stephen, you mentioned Aaron Conley, maybe you felt he had a better game in Bulgaria. Is he still sort of learning that position? I think you mentioned before, doesn't normally play it that much for his club. And was he someone that you really wanted to experiment with these two games to
Yeah, and a number of players that did as well. I think Aaron done fine tonight. Wouldn't be critical of Aaron. He did, you know, he kept going. I think again at this stage of the season and pre-season to play 90 minutes in 3 days, or 90 and a 70 odd. You know, I think he, you know, it's an ask, and you know, in fairness to him, he's a danger. Like there is goals in him, and he certainly, you know, we forget how far he's come in a year. He's made massive strides in a year, and his attitude has been really, really good. And I think that's a credit to him, to be honest.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your cooperation during these very trying circumstances with COVID. We appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much.